Hi everybody, I'm Ryan. Today I'm going to review the games from a Modern Challenge top 4 I had like 2 weeks ago or so. I top 4'd one of the Sleepy Boy Modern Challenges. And after events like that, I always really like reviewing my games anyway. I'm not really one to just pat myself on the back and move on. It's important to watch over your games to look for issues with your play patterns or mistakes or what have you. So I'm gonna take you along for that ride with me. So at its worst, this video is just gonna be me watching over my games and giving the play-by-play. At its best, if I notice some mistakes or issues with my play after the fact, I'll point it out, or if I have any weird plays, I'll explain why I did them. Because while I give strategy advice, hey Misha, while I give strategy advice on this channel, I do not pretend to be a perfect player. I just pretend to be pretty good. And even pretty good players absolutely make mistakes all the time. So do not expect perfect play. Let's analyze my games. That being said, I played a 5-color creativity deck, which is kind of my pet deck in Modern in this event. Let's jump into it. As kind of another side note is these games are going to go quick because I'm just going to click play and watch. So if it starts getting ahead of me or whatever, I might kind of skip over some of the play-by-play or whatever. So we end up keeping a fine hand. The reason I keeping hands like this, change the equation, makes it so nothing bad happens before playing Fable, and then Fable can smooth out your draws against all but the quickest decks. So this looks like Glimpse. This is the only deck that plays the Colony Garden or whatever, and this hand's great against Glimpse. We can kind of just change the equation up forever. Glimpse is one of the decks that doesn't run the no mana counterspell. But they tapped out for Risen Reef. We just change the equation, untap to Fairy, and now they don't get to combo. One kind of thing that this is bad against though is Fury. But Felidar Retreat, oh, I remember this being cast against me. It's one of the landfall things where you can get the 2/2s and whatever. Not very good, and we have plenty of answers. At this point, we've all but won the game because they can't cascade because of Teferi, and then we have our crazy mid-range plan already in our hand. Yep, we're just doing our thing. Again, they can Fury kill Teferi, but we're not super worried about it. Not worried about it at all. We're just rocking our mid-range plan, casting our cards, killing their permanents, doing our thing. So here's the Fury. Okay, so here's the Fury. So they can do it now. They got rid of Teferi. Now they can Shardless Agent. We don't have a counterspell, so this is an issue. They end up pretty much whiffing. They get Endurance 4 lands, so they do it again. And then this one's insane, and they're going to keep going. So I think that's just a really good example about the thing is we were miles and miles ahead. The biggest issue with our hand is just we didn't have that counterspell, and we had the Teferi to protect, so I felt safe. I don't think I made any mistakes, though. I do think we're very dead here. Jeez, when do you concede, past Ryan? It's over. Make the bleeding stop. It's over. Yeah, this is I think it goes to show you just Teferi isn't good enough. It's possible I should have let that Risen Reef resolve and then played Teferi. That totally could have been a very, very reasonable thing to do. There we conceded. Okay, so we're down a game. All right, going into game 2, lost the first game of the tournament. This hand's pretty great. Hallowed Moonlight is incredible against our opponent's deck. Mostly because they don't run a lot of the counter spells that the Living End deck does, like I said. Also, that Ren and 6 draw is insane. So acting and behaving in a way that we just are trying to remove as many permanents as possible while we have Hallowed Moonlight in our hand is, I think, the best way to play, because then they still have to be working very hard on that other aspect of their game. Them not playing anything here is kind of wild to me. It's actually possible I should have creativity there. I guess they had blue mana up, so Mystical Dispute would have been awkward. I don't know why I didn't. I don't think there's any reason to not creativity there. I guess playing there's no punishment in playing patient. Right, because we can just creativity for 1 is sometimes good enough. They suspend Glimpse. Yeah, I'm just playing super, super, super patient, which is fine. In hindsight, maybe I should have creativity for 1 right at 4 mana. Because they only had 3 lands, like nothing really bad could go wrong. Even if they glimpsed, who cares, right? Yeah, and here we go. Then we just get to Hallowed Moonlight, and so good. And now they're just left with 1 land. I guess that's why you play Patient, right? Hallowed Moonlight is just disgusting. And now the game's just over. All right, going into game 3. Seems pretty good. I'm a little worried about no interaction with their combo, but then we just draw Hallowed Moonlight because we're insane. And Red 6 is actually surprisingly really good against a lot of their early permanents. The 0-1s and the 1-1s and stuff like that, which is really sweet. As the thing is, like, we can attack the combo in 2 different ways, and I think this is why the Glimpse deck like isn't actually that good. Is that you can attack the combo by just not making sure they don't have a lot of permanents, but also you can attack the combo by just like having counter magic or like having Teferi or anything like that, like we just did. Like get Colony Garden, Ren and 6 the Risen Reef, just ridiculous, and now they have to rebuild really before they combo, and then we just leave Hallowed Moonlight up for the rest of the game. And then I love that they're casting this because we just get to Hallowed Moonlight. They'll have Summer to protect it. Oh, very good. And boom. And we win the game. So, like, I think that just shows, like, the weakness of the Glimpse deck. Like, yeah, they got a game out of us and they get out of hand super, super quick. But not being able to protect your combo is really rough, especially in a world of Hallowed Moonlights. But we are 1-0. So going into round 2. Hand's totally fine. It's kind of all we can ask for, and then we just like fist pump because we like on the play get to Ren and 6 down a Ragavan, which feels great. They dash it down, so that kind of sucks. And we know they can dash a Ragavan again, but if that's what they're doing, if that's what they're like spending their turn on, like, that's totally fine. Looks like it's just like a Jund mid-range deck. And then we just get to in the clear transmogrify down the Ragavan. It's just absolutely disgusting. I love this, like, you know, throwing haymakers back and forth style of Magic, which is kind of exactly what's happening in this this game. But we are miles and miles ahead, though. Like, our opponent only has 2 cards in their hand. We have 3, including a combo piece. And Fable the Mirror Breaker just makes you feel super, super ahead. They just hit a Prismatic ending, though, so that's pretty good against Fable. Little brutal on the mountain. I thought about countering that, but like it's a way to just like get rid of the Spell Pierce, and then we can change the equation to Ragavan. Can be an issue with it in the graveyard though, so we really need to like hit something. And now we're in a little bit of trouble. Looks like. I guess there was no reason to counter that, right? Because like just discarding the Spell Pierce is kind of the same thing as countering it, so there's really nothing we could have done. The Leyline Binding draw though is excellent. Right, and so now they can bring it back. Yeah, I've liked my play so far, I think, in this game. A lot of parts, like, it's felt like I was way ahead, and then they just, like, answered, which has been kind of weird. I get that one weird thing about the game. Spell Pierce at least can protect our combo when we actually do draw it. You better believe they're going to do their best to make sure that doesn't happen. Yeah, we cycle this. Okay. It's like we're on a slightly different plan, like Fable to try to pull ahead, protect with Spell Pierce, that kind of stuff. Really good Spell Pierce. So there's an argument for creativity, but I was just playing around Lightning Bolt. There's no reason to rush. No reason to rush at all. Yep, and there it is. So, yeah. Good stuff. There's the Tarmogoyf, there's the pressure, 0 cards in hand, and we have creativity. Be awesome if we drew another land. No, that's okay. We discard the Lightning Bolt to look for it, but hitting another creativity is pretty good anyway. And we hit a change the equation, which just hits almost every card in their deck, if not every card. Everything but like Lily. And that is game over. So they just had no answer for Archon. We were going to attack, and it was just going to be over. So sweet, we're up a game. That means we lose this game. Hand's okay. One of these not being a fetch land kind of sucks with like Ren. But it is what it is. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of pressure really quick. I see how I lose this. And then one of these not being a fetch land means that Ren 6 kind of does nothing, and then like the Jund is going to do what Jund does, which is just like close the gap incredibly fast. And they hit a land off of it. It's brutal. Not a fetch land though. I'm just trying to like reduce the value. It's possible I should hit Tarmogoyf there, understanding that like the game was just going to be over, and then I just conceded. Yeah, this game's over. So like I could have waited to concede, but really what was going to happen? Oh no, they were just going to copy Tarmogoyf and I was dead. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's unfortunate. You stumble and then your opponent closes the gap on you. It is what it is. So this hand's only fine. Keeping because it changed the equation is kind of sweet. Really weak to Thoughtseize, and there it is. But Prismatic Ending can get rid of that first thing. And they took the combo piece instead, which is really awkward because they're drawing 2 Archons. So we really hope the first combo is good enough. So we change here. Just reducing that aggro. And then we're really hoping the top of our deck is nice. That was one of our better draws. And that was 2. So what's sweet is this, being able to answer all the stuff. The Thoughtseize really doing nothing, just hitting Archon. So we still need a really nice top of our deck, though. Tarmogoyf's going to be a butthole here. Oh, yeah, I remember that play. So that was a wild play to me, right? Like, maybe it's because they had literally no answer to Ren, but they engineered explosives for 2 and killed Tarmogoyf and Ren in 6. I was like, sure. I mean, to be fair, my plan was to just chump block forever and try to, like, alt-Ren one at some point, which maybe they were worried about, or they knew the Archon was in my hand, knew they couldn't answer the Archon, and they knew I was going to keep getting lands with Ren or whatever. But, like, dealing with this guy was just, like, so good for me, especially on ripping that Fable. I wonder if I discard the Archon here. It's probably not right. Oh, no, I grab Savai Triumph. That means I'm not looking to discard. Yeah, I'm looking to cast that. Oh, and then we get to attack. Just hard cast Archon. Wait, why didn't I cast? What? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? Was that a misclick? That had to have been a misclick. But he knows about the Archon, so they just conceded. Maybe I wanted to protect the Archon with Veil or something? I have no clue what I was thinking. I think we're lucky we won, because that's just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, that's enough. Yeah. Take the wins. All right, round 3. So we keep this blind. This is probably a mulligan. Double Spell Pierce, Creativity. Or it was only 1 Spell Pierce, actually. It was the opening hand. Thought Scour is kind of cool in our opponent's deck. We're just going to die to this Ragavan, dude. I would say we were punished for not playing the second land there. Yeah, we definitely were. We should have played the second land there. There's no reason to just, like... I think what I was thinking is I wanted to play the tap land really bad. But, like, with all the lands in our hand, like, not playing the tap land's totally okay. Playing around Spell Pierce and not having to invest an actual resource into it was really solid. And also ended up not... And triggering the Ledger Strider, especially after drawing that Lightning Bolt, is brutal. It's kind of rough. And they replaced it with Ragavan. So Creativity here is bad against exclusively Spell Pierce. So I think we're supposed to lay... Yeah, we're looking to Leyline Binding. Yeah, look at that patience. That's good after questionable plays early on. Right, and then now we're just kind of in the clear. And Creativity is bad against everything except for exclusively double Spell Pierce. Right, and then we counter back. And we get 2 Archons. Boom. Questionable keep, but we win anyway. So good for us. See, this hand's like, replacing one of the lands with a change of the equation makes the hand so much better. Though not very good against the turn on Ragavan. Oh yeah, we're in trubs. At least we don't get turn 2 Blood Moon. Them hitting Ren there is hyper double dog rough into a veil, so if they followed up, I wouldn't have been able to counter it. That'd been kind of funny. And also awful. I think I just have to like play high variance and just jam there, even into 7 cards. Get as many counter spells out of our opponent's hand as possible. At least now we can Fable back up with Spell Pierce. What we can really do. It's possible you're supposed to Spell Pierce there to like make him sack the treasures, but I don't know if investing the resource actually matters. Also, it's just a wasted dwarf because they have Ren. I guess keeping them off Ren ulting is good too. I really want to kill this Ragavan, so we are able to do it, so that's dope. See if we can cast Teferi. Why did I just concede? Why didn't I try the Teferi? I'm not sure why I just conceded there. I mean, I did do a counterspell, don't get me wrong, but like, I don't know. It's kind of black out when you're playing Magic, you know what I mean? This hand's very good, even against Ragavan. And of course, they don't have the turn 1 Ragavan when you have the answer to the turn 1 Ragavan. What a draw. What a grade A draw. Oh, and they don't have the counterspell or the Spell Pierce. They do have Force of Negation, which actually might be kind of okay with the 2-for-1 there, because this ends up just being kind of a mid-range matchup, you know? Does this resolve? Counterspell check? Nope. Spell Pierce check? Let's go. That resolving's huge. Get to trade in a little bit. You hit that Spell Pierce? Nope. It's disgusting. Just disgusting. And we have the answer here. There's an argument for... Yeah, so there's an argument for untapping so you can pay for the Spell Pierce. That was probably a mistake. Oh, and they just concede to the Leyline Binding. I think we're just going to apply too much pressure. It's possible they just like... I mean, they got really unlucky in that game 3. That was like crazy, crazy, crazy tempo. All right, round 4. See where we are at. This hand's awful. I don't know why I kept it. Pretty good against turn 1 Ragavan, though. Oh, yeah, this is the Obosh red deck. Yeah. All right. I'm not doing anything for a while. It's pretty reasonable for me. Need them to just hold on. Change the equation here. Feels so good. Letting them filter it all. I think I was plussing because I was afraid of Lightning Bolt, and I just really want Teferi to live. Not really any reason to minus. Yeah, that feels really good. So Teferi lives because of that. And I was just joking about Teferi living. But that's also effectively like a 4-for-1, right? They put Obosh in their hand, which you do not have an answer to. The Ragavan cast is so much better for me than Obosh. Yeah, I think there was just like, I wasn't sure if I wanted to let the dwarf die. A top deck creativity, having 2 is so much better than 1 because of exactly Lightning Bolt. There you go. We have no lands in our graveyard. That sucks. Oh, I didn't even leave a dwarf back because we're awful at Magic. We don't even have double black. Maybe we have to fetch better. Fetching more properly is important. Yeah, I mean, maybe that block was bad. So what's awkward here is I wasn't playing Blood Crypt in my deck, which it is now in, but in this tournament I was not playing Blood Crypt. I was just playing an extra Triome. So my double black is 3 Triomes. It's something that Sebastian Pozo was into. Yeah, that's brutal. I think this is how we just die. That's definitely the reason we lost. He's tax Ren, and now we're just... Oh, no, he goes face. Oh, then we stop Ren. Okay, got it. And the game's just over. Where if we had the double, then we just like jam arc. We would have been able to jam arc on there if Blood Grip was on our deck. That's literally the reason we lost, is Blood Grip was not in our deck. Yep, game over. That's brutal. That's super brutal. All right, going to game 2. Blood Grip is now in our deck because of stuff like that. That happened way too often. I like the idea of having extra Triome so you get to, like, you know, play the long game with, like, Ren and 6 or something like that a little bit more often, but it just didn't happen often enough to, like, it actually matter. It's very good. We just gonna go for it? I think I do. Yeah. Take the free one. This is Obosh in their hand, which means the game's over. Join the land there, sweet, because then we can Teferi and leave up change. Yeah, okay, then the game's okay. That was just super slick. Exactly the way you draw it up is creativity. Exactly the way you draw it up. Have to mulligan. His hand's pretty good. I think I didn't put back a land because I really want to be able to turn 3 Fable. Is fine. Also, them not having Regavant's dope. That looks actually surprisingly annoying for my deck. Why didn't I want to jam? I feel like I was supposed to just jam either Teferi or Fable there, right? Like, almost definitely. Oh, it was Blood Moon. That's the reason. I was afraid of Blood Moon. And Pass Ryan is smart. Also really dumb, but smart. And we decide not to creativity for free. It's possible that was supposed to be a creativity there. I guess Teferi's super safe, and we have a chance to, like, draw another one. Really no reason to rush, because then if they answer that Archon, we don't have a lot going on. You know? Yeah, if we Archon there, that would have been so good. But we have a Teferi up, and now we just Fable. We have Lightning Bolt. Yeah, that's yucky. This is a very winnable game. Get rid of cards we can't cast. We have a million creativities. This is so winnable. It's actually kind of gross that I'm losing this. I should be miles ahead if I just made very slightly different choices. Like leaving the Spell Pierce up, or just creativitying, just like pulling the trigger when the coast is clear. We have to pull the trigger here. Okay, and it works. Okay, dope. Okay, we're fine then. They're top decking. We should not have had to get lucky there and them not have a lightning bolt though. Because we did just get lucky there. Not sure why they didn't cast Bone Crusher. Yeah, we could have played way better. I think I was supposed to creativity there. Nice. Well, we won. Good for us. So 4-0. Awesome. Awesome. Hand's great. Going into round 5. Yeah, going to round 5. Opponent mulligans to 4. There's Urzmine Chromatic Sphere. Tron mulligans very, very well, so you do not feel safe in the least. Able to Ancient Stir here. Spell Pierce back, so that all feels really good. And they have just like straight up Natural Tron into Karn Liberated. That's brutal. And then the plus is rough, but we have Leyline Binding, so it's okay. They only have 1 card left in their hand. A million creativities. Yeah, we're fine. We're fine. Great creator. Oh, what a crazy Multifor. The Engineer Explosives is just kind of rough. We need to ferry out the Engineer Explosives, though. That's That's all really rough. Into all his dust. All right, then the game's just over. Homie had a crazy hand. Crazy hand. I don't know if there's anything I could have done about that. To be totally real, like there's a lot of games that you could do something, but see, this hand's pretty good. I'm into this hand. Power plant tower. Is this on a mulligan? Data check. Okay, they mulled to 6. Okay, it's more reasonable. But if they kill us on 4, what are we doing here? They don't have natural Tron on 3, so that's dope. Like, no, sir. Okay, the Great Creator, which you just don't have an answer to besides Prismatic Ending here in a sec. Super brutal. What did they grab? Ouch, yeah. I think maybe I was supposed to Prismatic Ending the car in there. But also this map is just disgusting. Now they just get to, now they have access to 8 mana. And a Sundering Titan, yeah, it's just over. Thought about being cute, like, okay, like, maybe if they don't, like, do anything, we hit land drops, we can, like, creativity, and then we just don't hit our land. And they probably, I think they trump here, yeah. Also involves, like, Karn dying, and they just can, do the engineer explosives for 2. They didn't even need to do it. And again, yeah, it's just over. All right, so we lost that round. So we're 4-1 going into round 6. Check out round 6. Yeah, I don't think there's anything I could have done about that Tron match. Sand's super medium. I probably should have mulliganed it. Oh, yeah, I played against Boggles. I forgot about this. I was like, oh, no. It's so dope. It's so dope. Oh, did we break it? Okay, we didn't. Cool. Why are we going so slow? You can do it. Why is it so slow? There we go. Rancor, you'll spell pierce that Rancor. Get out of here. I loved Rancor when it was in standard. It was so good. So we're just trying to interact as much as possible here until we can just creativity. Really is what this is all about. Replay's going really slow. I don't know if I can deal with this replay being so slow. This is rough. At least it's a Boggles match. So hitting the creativity is huge. And I decided not to hit the Hyena Umbra. We're just going to Prismatic Ending something that is a little bit more damage. Still not enough. At this point, I think I'm doing like math on like where we are at with like what does the clock actually look like? Do I need to Prismatic Ending this turn? Hitting the Leyline Binding is insane. Do Prismatic Ending there. And then Leyline Binding is like our safety net because we can just grab a Sacred Foundry. Right, and then they're tapped out. So I think I just take here. Nope. Okay, we're just gonna make sure things are fine. That's reasonable. I don't think there's any reason to do this, like other than like you're afraid of them like playing a land and like Path to Exile, but I doubt they're playing Path to Exile or something in the main deck. Because now we just play Dwarf Creativity and then we win. Because it's Boggles. Played Boggles at a Grand Prix once, fun fact. Did not do well in the main event, but lost in the finals of the side event PTQ. That sucked. So the replay speed up. This is kind of rough. All right, then we win. Cool. That makes sense. I think the only play there was just like it's possible the Leyline Binding was unneeded, but I think it's 0-sum. And this hand's pretty good. So the Leyline is Sanctity, which it's really important that gets Leyline Binding. So it's I hope we are able to draw other interaction, but we also have Nature's Claim, so we're golden. We have an interaction for an enchantment and interaction for Leyline of Sanctity. I think one kind of issue for Boggles playing Leyline of Sanctity, I mean, they need to, but people are assigning an enchantment hate anyway. And Leyline of Sanctity acts at its best when your opponents are incentivized to not side in enchantment hate. So it's kind of rough. The opponent's creating an environment where sacking a creature is actually not great. But we can Leyline Binding out. Oh yeah, just reduce the aggro just really dramatically. Kill this Leyline. Untap Transmog. Oh, and then I forgot about the red and 6 on Dryad Arbor. Untap Transmog, and then they just need actual insanity on the Slippery Boggle to get through. And then we just chump, and then we still have creativity. Sweet. Yep, Light Pause does nothing. Especially with this creativity in our hand. Yeah, that was all very gross. All very gross. I think is why one of the reasons why Boggles is dead, you know. But we're 5-1, so that's dope. So that means this round 7 is a win in, because it was a 7-rounder, and so this is our win in into top 8 at 5-1. Hopefully the replays are a little bit quicker. Opponent mulligans a 6. With Thoughtseize, which is rough because I already like having 6 cards since Varkon. Hit that 3rd land, we're in pretty reasonable shape though. Oh yeah, I think this was Goryo's Vengeance, if I remember right. It was really dope seeing this. So we missed the 3rd land in game 1, so that sucks. Really bad. Yeah, we had Emrakul, Goryo's Vengeance. We're able to counter it, so that feels good. Teferi also just kind of ruins the combo, which is dope. We get a 3rd land. No, we don't. I only have 1 card in hand. 3rd land? There we go. This is very wrong. I needed to oh no, I guess Teferi just dies on the attack. But Teferi stops the combo. Yeah, never mind. I'm wrong about being wrong. I think we needed to do this. This Teferi was going to die in the attack anyway, but they have Lightning Bolt, so we die. So we are down a game and are winning in. Oh no. Against Goryo's Vengeance, which is terrifying. So scary. Not having to worry about counter magic's dope, though. So, like, Teferi is just, like, extra good. Get out of here with that Thoughtseize. Get out of here with that Inquisition. Then we're going to untap into Teferi you. Hunk. Maybe. It's also an argument for Fable. Oh, Teferi. Teferi plus. I guess so we can't die. They get their own Fable. We're fine, dude. We're just rocking and rolling. We minus on the homie. Drawing a bunch of cards. Like, they discard Emrakul there because they can't actually do their combo because of Teferi. I didn't discard the Archon. I guess it doesn't really matter. Maybe I'm trying to cast, which is fine. I mean, I think that's a reasonable play when you have like the Goblin token. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we actually can. I mean, I don't know why I was surprised. Yeah, this means we get to hard cast, and we can't be comboed because of Teferi. It's actually dope. Yep, does nothing. They concede. Sweet. All right, going to game 3. Again, the Goryo's Vengeance is so scary. So friggin' scary. Yeah, we keep. We just hope they don't turn 3 us. Or we actually can turn 2 us with this argument. Or not really turn 2, but they could do like something. I don't know. And especially if we don't draw counter magic, we kind of have to rend down the Ragavan and cross our fingers. I think at this point we're just clenching Giga Clench. They miss. Then we get to Teferi Plus. Then we're like almost out of the danger zone. Just not casting spells. I totally forgot what this card does. Discard a card at random. If you discard a creature this way, it deals damage equals to target creature. Oh, yeah. That was scary. Yeah, that was really scary. Hated that. I think I'm just leaving up Leyline Binding for things. Plain patient. Yeah, I really want to Leyline Binding that. That's why. Maybe I should have. Okay, so there's an argument for. No, never mind. Yeah. I was like, geez, don't play another Craig and Wick or whatever. Thing is, it's possible if I was a little unlucky or I was dead there, because they discard another Craig and Wick. So if they had like Emrakul or something, they just die. Or that card. I didn't just die there, but they would have been able to play another Craig and Wick. It's really kind of a dope deck. You know, so Teferi doesn't actually like save us, really. You know what I mean? That alternate win condition is super cool. Kind of playing patient. We're just like clenching our butt, like hoping they don't hit another Kragenwick. Just F that noise. Trying to kill them as fast as possible. So good to leave a Paladin Moonlight and Leyline Binding. And we win. So we're into top 8. So that is super dope. Super excited about that. Right? So this is in the first round of top 8. This is our first match. Keep a fine interactive hand. You know, I don't mind keeping these interactive hands, like, at all. These are totally okay. Alright, this is like blue-eye control stuff. We're gonna do a lot of just like watching us stare at each other. Of course, we keep the interactive hand against blue-eye control, but Teferi Resolving's dope. Really nothing we can do about that. That's a really good hit. It'll ran in 6 down the Teferi. I like a lot of value. I think my play here so far was fine. I'm having a lot of answers is rough. They return their own Leyline Binding. I would be able to efficiently deal with Teferi. They no sir. On Teferi. Return Leyline Binding. It's so weird. It's so weird. But then we just get to minus on the Teferi. Leyline Binding their Binding again. Get our homie back. I don't know. That might have been a weird thing to fight over. I guess when they have Counterspell, they just get to deal with Teferi forever. Now we're threatening like casting the Archon, which is dope. Cast the Archon first. If they have any more counter magic to get out of their hand. Yeah, you got it. We can just creativity. Or not. Supreme Verdict was insane. I'm just challenging them to have another counterspell. They don't. Let's go. And then we bolt. Okay. Up a game. Going game 2. Have to mulligan that first hand because the 2 Archons. Like, it's hard to justify a hand with 2 Archons. At 7, especially. Get rainbow mana for the rest of the game. Feels good. Nah, don't draw 2 cards. Nah, I don't like that. Counter kind of brutal. Better Teferi than like Fable though, I think. We draw the Spell Pierce after it's a little late to protect stuff, so that's kind of brutal. Resolves, which is awesome. Did I miss old school blue eye control like Cryptic Command? That was dope. Can't actually do anything. We actually can't Leyline Binding for 1 here. Yeah, that kind of sucks. Choose not to discard. Yeah, like this. Yeah, it's supposed to bind in a response there. Make it so things are always chill. Don't really have a. The thing is that they need exactly a counterspell in order to interrupt this creativity. So I think you go for it. I think I did go for it here. If I remember right. And that's super, super brutal. So if they had another Archmage's Charm or something, which I can't imagine they run 3 to be fair. So like, Binding's dope. Really dope draw there. I'm trying to race with a lifelinker. Like, sucks. And then just get an efficient block. Imagine if I had creativity this turn. That's insane. It's just over. We're in top 8, so it's like hanging on for hope beyond hope or whatever. Just trying to see if I can sneak in a cheeky creativity for 2 or something. We miss? Yeah, we're just dead, right? Oh no, we drew a lightning bolt. Alright, we're just like, alright, we're in the game. Let's go. Yeah, and then we just died of Leyline Binding. Okay, go in game 3. Game 3, this hand's rough, man. But we have the Renin 6 with the fetch land, and I don't think we've seen a Spell Pierce yet. It's like resolving this really early Renin 6 is insane. Also threatening that Teferi, and they try to answer the Renin 6, so then we can just jam our Teferi, which is awesome. Be drawing our cards. They're Teferi, we don't care. They just draw a card, and we have a follow-up Renin 6 with Veil of Summer. Like, we're sitting pretty. It's pretty. Then they tap out. We just get to creativity for 2. At instant speed, actually. Can we just do this now? Oh, you know, we creativity for 1 because we have 2 Archons in our hand. So we have creativity for 1, and then also Veil of Summer in response, so we can't return anything. So that actually sucks. I thought I was being so smart, like the game was just gonna be over. We had to do that in response, by the way, because their Teferi meant we didn't do anything. They missed land drops for 3 turns and noticed they were wildly behind and conceded. So we're into top 4. In top 4. Things didn't go as planned. We're playing against Living End, if I remember correctly. The premier Living End grinder on Magic Online, by the way. I remember just like both it just being very quick, to be totally honest, not to spoil anything. The Spell Pierce and Teferi backup is pretty nice. Really asked for more, to be totally honest with you. They live in any response, which is totally reasonable. And they're forced to have force negation, and obviously don't have it, which is insane. Cycle in a bunch of homies, return my Teferi, brief out my other Spell Pierce. Now we're in Trubs. If they have another force negation here, then they're in like really, really, really good shape. Yeah. Now they have 1 card left, but if it's a Cascader, then we die. They have near perfect information, and we just died to this Cascader. Really nothing we can do. Really not concede? Okay, there we go. Then we conceded. And then going to game 2. Oh, this is fine. It's possible I was supposed to mulligan a little more aggressively against a deck like Living End, but like I changed the equation. Like Renin 6 hit our land drops because we're on the play. Bad against Grief. I think Renin 6, which is like not a good sign. We can only cast 1 change the equation, which is brutal. And they're gonna have enough cards in their graveyard to just like go for it if they have force negation. I think game 2 I could have mulliganed better. Game 1 I think was just a little bit of like bad beats. Double change with nothing else going on. Brutal. Capital B. We draw another Archon. Yeah. Wheels are kind of coming off. We were in really hot the entire tournament. This plays around Spell Pierce. Mystical Dispute's pretty good. I just pay for it because like it's the same thing as casting the other change. And then they have another Mystical Dispute, and then we die. So those are all the matches in my top 4 in a Modern Challenge, and kind of my review of the matches, mistakes, questionable plays, good plays, and all of that stuff. If you like videos like this and like coming along for the ride, if maybe for the gameplay, maybe for my commentary, maybe for this analysis, then please like and subscribe. Let me know what you thought down in the comments, and thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please be sure to like and subscribe. I already said that. My brain's a little fried after recording for an hour, to be totally real with you. Check me out on social medias. Links are above me and in the description. Thank you for watching. Bye.